Welcome to my important guidelines video. I'm gonna have to sit indoors today because there's too much wind outside and it's affecting my sound quality. It's a bit of an awkward place to measure flour, but at least I only have to measure it once. In this video, I want to share a few tips to help you with my recipes. So firstly, I want to show you how I measure my flour so that you don't end up with more flour in your recipe than I do, because you might measure it differently than I do. I keep my flour in a 5-liter bucket like this one. And to measure my flour, I don't compact the flour into the measuring cup like this. I pour the flour into the cup until it's overflowing. And then I take a knife and I just scrape it off. I don't compact it, I don't tap it, I just measure it like that. With the other ingredients, I do compact it slightly, as you can see in the videos, like the porridges and so on. Then don't forget to cut the baking paper around the edges once you have spread out your flatbread onto your baking paper, because as I've said in some of the videos, my baking paper caught on fire. So cut the edges, please. I want to point something out quickly. You see, this baking paper is cut to size, but because I only placed batter on the two opposite corners, the other corner, which doesn't have any batter on, is almost touching the element, you see? So keep that in mind as well, that you need to put weight onto the corners if you're going to make round flatbreads. Otherwise, it can also catch on fire. And I've put little blotches of batter on the corners. Then I used to bake my flatbreads at 250 degrees Celsius, but I don't have much luck with ovens these days. I had a nice built-in oven until it caught on fire, but it wasn't because of the baking paper. It just decided to explode one day right in front of me. And so luckily the stove top still works, but the oven itself doesn't work anymore, so that's why I've switched over to a small oven. And so now I'm not sure if my oven exploded because I was baking my flatbreads at 250 degrees Celsius every day, or if it was just, it's time to go, you know. So then I thought, maybe I should rather bake my flatbreads at 230 degrees Celsius. But if you want a nice crispy flatbread, you can put it in a pizza oven, those wood fire pizza ovens, and make it really nice and crispy. So the texture is a little bit different on 230 degrees, but it's still fine. And as you've noticed, there are some flatbreads that come out dark brown and some come out very light brown or pale in color. And the reason for that is if there's sugar in the batter, for example, corn contains sugar, then it goes brown. If you want to freshen up the flatbread after it's been standing in an airtight container for a while and it's not so fresh anymore, because it changes its texture quite quickly actually after you've made it, then just put it on a hot pan or in the oven again and it will freshen it up again. A thick batter gives you a firm flatbread, and the more water you add it, the more pliable it becomes and softer. So you can decide and experiment how much water you want in the batter. Another tip: if the base of the flatbread gets stuck to the baking paper, then just flip it around like this so that the steam can help it to loosen. Then you will notice that there are different consistencies in the gluten-free grains. So I try to combine gluey grains with non-gluey grains so that I don't end up with this gluey consistency. I don't like gluey bread. For example, buckwheat is a gluey grain. Linseeds or flax seeds are gluey seeds. Gluten-free oats is a gluey grain, but corn is a non-gluey grain. Sorghum is a non-gluey grain, and so on. Rice is kind of in between. Then make sure that when you buy gluten-free grains that they are not contaminated with gluten grains, because there was this time when I was buying millet at a shop and I got sick and I couldn't understand why I was getting so sick and my gut was so sore. And then I discovered that it had barley mixed in with a millet. And make sure from the supplier that you're getting it from that it's gluten-free, or buy a packet that says gluten-free. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video.